To Channing Jr. and his circle, it must have felt as if the world revolved around him that evening. And in a way it did. His face was on every newsstand in the country. The acclamation was worldwide, actually. Another stunning success in a short lifetime of stunning successes. But nothing was really what it seemed to be. For someone among the celebrants would soon become a killer. And our young champion's appetite for honor was superseded by his desire to ruin the lives of several of the guests. You served a huge cake at the party that night, Mr. C. It had a figure of a horse and rider on top, had 7 layers. But it struck me that it hardly compared to the layers of intrigue at work in this house. That morning, the morning of the day he was killed, Channing asked several people to meet with him here. Those people are in this room. They came to him one by one, and none of them, as far as I can tell, was aware of the others. These meetings weren't spur-of-the-moment kind of things. They were each of them well-planned, down to the last twist of the knife. The press was coming to enjoy the good food, but they'd have been delighted, I'm sure, had they realized that young Channing intended to blast his party right off of the society pages and into the headlines. You see, he warned each of his visitors that he had heavy ammunition to use against them. Let him know he was going to mow them down with it come evening. Even went so far as to make it clear how thoroughly he was planning to enjoy the bloodletting.
Oh, wait a minute. Cruz, I gave you credit for being a responsible investigator. Now you're just putting a show on here at the expense of my dead son.
I'm telling it like it happened, Mr. C.
But Channing is not here to defend these insinuations and this slander.
Who did he meet with, Cruz?
I'm getting to that. Channing himself wrote all this down in his journals.
He wasn't that kind of person.
I'm afraid you're going to have to face some rather unpleasant facts about him. I'm sorry.
What are you saying? That Channing brought all this on himself? What happened to him?
Not necessarily, though the thought does cross one's mind. You see, Channing was brilliant, handsome, gifted. A lot of people were drawn to him. Many of them loved him. But he was also another man, an angry, bitter, often lonely young one who saw every friend as a competitor, and every competitor inevitably as an enemy, who needed so desperately to win that he couldn't take the time to enjoy his triumphs.
I don't know this person that you're describing.
He didn't want you to. He was afraid you'd be disappointed in him.
You always knew I loved him.
As long as he did what you wanted, as long as he was a winner.
That's not true.
Maybe not, but it's what he believed. It's what made him run, Mr. C, and kept him running. In fact, he wrote in his journal that seeing your face when he won the world championship was worth the agony of riding with broken ribs.
I was never so proud of it.
Making you proud was all he cared about.
Oh, you're wrong. Channing was ambitious for himself. Pleasing me was only part of it.
Pleasing you was the whole show. This whole thing, the revelation of all these dastardly deeds was for your benefit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Giddy up. Uncle Stacy. Daddy.
What is it, Brent?
Can I put this on?
It's one of Channing's medals. Were you in his room?
There were lots and lots of them. I like this one because it's so shiny.
Brandon, you weren't supposed to be in his room.
But the door was open this time.
Well, it shouldn't have been.
I told you I needed it open, Mr. C.
You've told me a lot of things today that don't make much sense. Now, Brandon, son, will you take this back into his room, and then please, I don't want you to go in there again.
I want to be just like Channing and win everything. Wouldn't that be nice? You'd be so happy, wouldn't you?
Yes, I will. We'll talk about that later.
But do I still have to put the medal back right away?
Oh, you can play for it. You can play with it for a while.
Thanks, Daddy.
All right, well, let's get on with this. We've wasted too much time already.
You'd think that winning an extremely prestigious international competition would have been enough of a tribute to his father, but Channing was on a roll. He wanted to up the ante, wanted to dazzle Cece with his biggest, most spectacular feat yet. The serving up of the Lockridges on a platter. After all, what could possibly make his father happier than seeing his bitter enemies publicly humiliated? And Channing figured by the time he got through revealing what he had on them, they'd be wiped out and run out of town.
When hell freezes over.
You tell him, Augusta.
Oh, do shut up, Lionel.
And he had an even closer target in his sights that evening, his half-brother Mason. Now, truly, these two hated one another. Channing took every chance he got to discredit Mason in their father's eyes. He liked to take things from him, too. It was only when he saw that Mason was interested in Santana, for instance, that Channing decided to get interested in her, too. He'd recently uncovered a scheme that you'd cooked up, right, Mason? With your real mother, Pamela? A scheme that would have hurt him badly, and Cece, too? So your neck was also on the block that night. Indeed, our young equestrian hero was riding high, calling all the shots. Fancied himself the master of everyone's destiny. What caught him unprepared was the return of certain ghosts from his pasts, come back to haunt him. One was a friend of his in Peter Flint's, who showed up uninvited. Another was his mother, Sophia. And the last was an enemy his father didn't even know he had. A man bent on destroying C.C. Capwell's happiness.
Go on.
I'd like you all to join me now in the study.
Why, Cruz?
Because that's where Channing held his little morning briefing sessions. We're going to recreate those meetings now with people playing their own parts.
Oh, goody, our own little psychodrama. How exciting.
And who will play the starring role?
I will. Channing, I will. You see, he kept extensive journals, Mason. I'll read from them. I know what he said to all of you. And I think you remember what you responded.
What if someone lies?
I'll know.
You really think this is gonna work?
Oh, yeah. Before the night is finished, the real killer of Channing Capwell Jr. will finally be revealed.
I can't believe the killer is in this house with us right now.
Why? Lionel, Mason, Warren, they were all suspects at one time or another.
You think it's one of them?
I think it's Marcello. But we already know he's capable of killing. What about you, Kelly?
Yeah. I mean, after what he tried to do to Daddy?
Well, I know who didn't do it. Mason.
Does that come from proof or instinct?
Instinct, but, well, we've gotten to live with each other for the last couple weeks, and, well, I know there's no way he could kill anybody. I mean, he can use people and con them, and we'll borrow money from him, but there is no way he could kill him. I guess I think it's Marcello, too.
Tell you, I don't envy Cruz's job, but I think he's doing it very well.
Yeah, I'm going to go find him for a second. I'll see you in the study.
Okay.
Okay, Copper. This was your bright idea. Get ready to pull it off.
There you are.
Yeah, here I am.
You all right?
I'll survive. How about you?
I'm in love with you. And all of you. I think you're brilliant.
Babe, I haven't even done anything yet.
It's okay. I still think you're incredible. I'm really terrified to hear what you're going to say. I'm so scared.
I love you, Edith. Channing felt closer to his father when he was in this room than he did anywhere else. The study was the place where multi-million-dollar deals were made, almost daily. To him, this room was his father. He wrote that in his journal. So it wasn't an accident that he chose this space for his confrontations. The first person he saw that morning was Mr. Lionel Lockridge. You want to take the stage, Lionel? He wrote, I remember thinking how strange it must have felt to Lionel being invited into this house, and even stranger that he'd received two Capwell invitations
in
for
the
that
same
day.
day. The first to appear at the Science Victory, and the second to appear before him in person. I'm bewildered.
You're wondering what I could possibly have to say to you, huh? I mean, after all, you are the enemy.
Something like that.
But Lionel, us Capwells, we pride ourselves on sportsmanlike conduct. So I'm giving you notice.
On what?
That I'm going to destroy you.
Really? And how?
By making a surprise announcement at the party today.
Oh, yeah? About what?
I've been doing some research, Lionel. The subject is the affair you were having with my mother.
What are you talking about?
Don't bother denying it. I've been reading through her diaries.
You have been reading through Sophia's diaries?
And the section I've been studying most was the latest entry she made. 10 years ago. It's on the night before she died. That's the ring she gave you.
No, I picked this up.
And stop lying.
What difference does it make now?
She had her initials engraved on the inside. I want to see them.
Channing, it doesn't make...
Look, I want to see my mother's initials. Show me the ring, please.
All right. What are you doing that for?
She was through with you.
We loved each other.
She went out on the boat to tell you that she didn't want to see you anymore. That's exactly why she went out on the boat with you.
Channing, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference now.
I'm warning you, Lionel. This afternoon at the celebration, when they're all there, from the well-wishers to the reporters, I am going to accuse you of killing my mother.
I didn't kill her. It was an accident.
Afterwards, I'm going to turn the diaries over to the police.
Why? Why are you doing this now?
It was necessary that Lionel be made to suffer. I wanted him to be afraid.
I never wanted to relive that moment. I never even wanted to think about it.
Cruz, you're setting this up to make Lionel look like Channing's victim. Well, the boy was in agony. Don't you see that? He just found out about the affair between his mother and his father's enemy. He thought that Sophia was dead and that Lionel had killed her. It's understandable that he would feel hatred, that he'd want to bring his mother's killer to justice. The thing that upsets me the most is that he felt that he couldn't tell me about it.
Well, he wasn't going to keep it from you much longer. You were going to hear the whole story along with the rest of the world that night at the celebration. Of course, there was another person who knew the truth about Lionel and Sophia. That would be you, Warren. You did know the truth, didn't you?
Yeah, I knew.
And you also came to see Channing at his request.
It was more like an owner, but yes, I saw him.
And what happened?
He told me that he was going to have me arrested.
Right. I would have done so anyway, and happily. I knew I was forced to turn Warren over to the police. And I told him so.
Why did you invite us to this party if you hate us so much?
There's a method to my madness. Today, when all the luminaries have gathered to honor me and my most recent achievement, and the press is there, recording it, I'm going to make an announcement.
What are you going to say?
That you stole a priceless collection of rare coins while you were a guest in this house, and that you admitted to me that your father put you up to it.
Hey, now, my father had nothing to do with this.
You'll both be arrested, and the Capitals will enjoy the spectacle of two Lockridges swinging slowly in the breeze.
A gift from me to my father. I should have thanked Warren, actually, for helping me to make it possible, he wrote.
He was hateful that day.
I didn't know how much you both had to go through just to keep Lionel and Sophia's affair a secret.
It was more than the affair, Augusta. Channing was accusing me of murdering Sophia.
What we have, then, is two Lockridges, father and son. Both had a motive, and since both were at the party, an opportunity to kill Channing. And we've heard how Channing acquired the ring he wore that day from Lionel, for whom it had been a gift years before from Sophia. Channing, of course, only got to wear it for a few hours.
I should have been here a long time ago. This guy's pulling my leg.
Ah, so you were...
It's Give me the booze. Hey, Mr. Wallace. You're just in time for happy hour.
So Channing seemed to be calling all the shots that day. But again, things are rarely what they seem. Turns out that he had something to hide, too, and there were a couple of people around that were more than willing to take advantage of that fact, to the tune of $2,500 a week each.
Are you saying that Channing was being blackmailed?
Would you care to comment on that, Lindsay?
Well, it was Peter Flint's idea from the beginning. I just let myself get sucked up into it. I was angry at Channing, so I went along. But I always considered it dirty money. I never even spent it.
Why would my son pay blackmail to you or Peter Flint? That's insane.
Maybe we should push ahead, Mr. C. We still got a lot of ground to cover. You weren't invited to the victory party, were you, Lindsay? But you showed up anyway.
But how did you know
we found your fingerprints in here.
Oh, I should have realized.
Yeah. How'd you get in?
Through the tunnel. Tunnel? But I didn't kill Channing. The fact is, he almost killed me.
Was he in here when you came in?
Yes. Almost as if he were waiting for me, even though he couldn't have known I was here.
What did he do?
Well, he reached into a drawer and pulled out a gun and pointed it at me.
I should have done this a long time ago, when you and your buddy Peter first started to put the squeeze on me. I've got a message for you, Lindsay. The free ride is over. No more payoff.
Nothing's changed. You don't have a choice.
It's over because I'm going to kill you. And then I'm going to kill Peter.
You can't get away with that. There's a house full of people here. Someone will hear you.
No, they won't. I'll drag you back into the tunnel and leave you there. Nobody knows you came here, so they'll never find you.
Jay, don't. God, please, Jay.
You pushed me too far. You should have known better than that, Lindsay. Even if Peter didn't.
Channing, I'll give back every cent. I swear I'll disappear. You'll never see me again. Channing's gonna kill me.
It's against my better judgment. But I'll let you live. This time. Go back out the way you came now. And Lindsay, I never want to see you or hear from you again. Now get out.
I was convinced he was going to kill me.
I don't believe you. Channing was no killer. And you still haven't told us why you were blackmailing him.
You're, certainly moving right along through that infamous suspect list of yours, Cruz. Should be getting to the M's about now, am I correct? Marcello and Mason?
Yes, you are, Mason. As a matter of fact, that reminds me. You also had a meeting in here, didn't you, with Channing before he was shot?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, but when I left him in all due haste, he was very much alive.
Did you notice if he, was wearing a ring?
I did, and he was Lionel's ring.
He, was aware of the scheme you were involved in with your mother, Pamela.
Yes, he said it had come to his attention.
You and Pamela Pepperidge.
My mother's name is Capwell, same as yours.
You're not real Capwells, either of you. If you were, you wouldn't stoop to what you're doing. Or at least you would be smart enough not to get caught. Oh, I know all about it, Mason, and I'm going to make very sure you never pull it off.
What is it that you think you know?
What everyone will know before long? That you're a liar and a sneak and an opportunist. The rest was self-evident.
Where did you get that ring? Said it was none of my business.
So he never told you?
No, his only interest was to goad and humiliate me. He took particular delight in asserting that the two of us weren't real Capwells.
You must have been very angry at him.
I hated him. Like I've never hated anything or anyone in my entire life. But I didn't kill him. You don't believe me? Well, the fact that I didn't kill him has more to do with who I am than what he was. I'm not the killing kind. But I feel sorry for the real killer. Because they should be rewarded, not punished for doing the world a good deed.
Damn it! Shut up!
Dad!
Don't you say his name again!
Right! Oh, man. Mason, that's enough.
Still won't believe it. After all this, he still wants to hang on to the lies about his precious son.
And after you left Channing?
I went home.
But you came back.
You don't have to say any more, Warren.
He's right. This isn't a court.
Look, when I
went home, I found my father's gun. And I took it with me when I went back to the Capwell party.
What was on your mind, Warren?
I was going to kill him.
Warren.
Look, I took the gun out when I got to the study door. And I took the safety off and pulled back the trigger. Then I opened the door.
Was he in here?
I didn't see him at first. But he was there. God, was he there?
There am I.
What was that you said? There am I. What does it mean, Channing? Hey, Channing! Then I ran. I don't even remember getting home.
I do.
You were kneeling over his body. Do you remember seeing the ring?
No, it wasn't there. I'm sure of it.
And the word he said was?
There am I.
Does that word mean something to you, Lionel?
It sounds oddly familiar, yes.
You came back to the party too, didn't you?
Yes, I came back, but not to kill Channing. As soon as I could, I slipped away and went upstairs.
Why?
To search the room.
What were you looking for?
The evidence that Channing said he had. Sophia and I had an affair. And that she'd come to see me the day she disappeared. He said she had a diary. I wanted to find it and destroy it. So that his accusations would not be able to be backed up.
Thought of you in my son's room is maddening. If I'd known you were there, I would have dragged you out myself.
It's funny you say that, C.C. You and Philip did come in when I was there. I was hiding. I made a noise. You came in, you left, and locking the door behind you. Remember locking the door?
No, don't ask me to be your alibi, Lionel. I never saw you in my son's room, and I don't believe you were there. I think you went back to the study.
Did you kill Channing? I was in that bedroom for hours, locked in.
And you proved that?
I hope so.
Folks, if you'll bear with me a second, I'll be right back. Can we talk in the hall, please?
Marcello, I'm starting to remember things. I don't know if it happened to me or they're happening to somebody else.
What sort of things, Sophia?
There's familiar. Sometimes they're familiar and they're very strange. Mom, are you all right?
She'll be all right, Kelly.
Sophia! You were at the party disguised as Dominic. You and Joe Perkins found Channing's body in here after he was shot. I'd like to ask you some questions about that moment.
Why? Why make her relive that? It was the most terrible moment of her whole life. She came back here to let Channing know that she was alive, but she never got the chance. It was the terror of that moment that drove her to an institution. She had a complete breakdown.
Yes, but she's over it now. She's stronger now. Sophia, can you describe your feelings to me?
Lionel. It's Lionel's face I saw Lionel in the mirror behind me. He killed my son. He killed Channing. Oh, he tried to kill me, so I know it was Lionel. Marcello. No, it's Marcello. Marcello's behind me in the mirror. Note. I gave a note. But I sent a ring. It's on his hand. It's my ring. Marcello, you're behind me in the mirror.
Yes, that was me who you saw behind you in the mirror. I was there, and I was the one who killed Channing. I hope that you would never remember, Sophia, that it would stay buried forever.
I don't believe it, Daddy.
I know, baby, I know.
Thank God. We don't have to be afraid of anyone anymore.
Well, you know, off the hook.
I knew my instincts about him were right.
Why did you kill him? Because I loved him so much?
Because I wanted to hurt you.
I knew how much you doted on him, how much of yourself you lavished on him. I know that you thought he was the best part of yourself. What better way to hurt you than to kill him?
You were jealous of Channing.
Yes, of course I was jealous. My parents were robbed from me while he still had his father. Yes, I'm your killer. You can end your search now. I killed Channing. I hid myself near the study, and then I saw Dominic go in there with another young man, and I tried to stop her, but I couldn't get there in time. Later, when she came out, I knew that what she had seen in there was more than what she could bear. It was more than her mind could handle. I knew then, I realized that I had to get her away to someplace safe. That's when I took her to the sanitarium.
Well, congratulations, Cruz. I couldn't have handled it better myself.
You are going to arrest him right away, aren't you, Cruz? Lionel was in prison for weeks and weeks, and he was innocent.
Dominic, Sophia, planted that bloodstained note in Warren's tux. But how did she get hold of it? Did she pick it up when she was in there with Joe? She was the one who planted the ring in my house, too. Someone took that ring off Channing's finger.
Dr. Marcy will be taken into custody and booked within the hour. Right now, I'd like everyone to clear this area, please. And be very, very quiet.
Listen to me. I've been treating Sophia for 16 years. I'm the only one who knows what to do with her when she's in a state like this. I need to stay with her.
She'll be all right, Marcello. I won't hurt her. Please stand over there. What are you feeling, Sophia?
So many memories gone. I don't know. I didn't realize how many moments were lost. How many moments were lost. They're coming back. So many of them.
Someone took that ring off Channing's finger. When Warren found him, he was still alive. But the ring was gone. Somebody removed it before Channing died. And Warren heard him say the word Faramar. There's only one other person in the world who knew that word.
Come to study now.
Please give this note to Lionel Lockridge right away. It's very important.
These are the same words. Oh, God. What did I do?
For heaven's sake, what's going on?
I don't know, Mom.
Cruz, what on earth is going on?
What's it mean?
Please.
I sent that note Channing had to Lionel. I told her to give it to Lionel. Because I had to see Lionel first. I had to protect myself from Lionel before I could tell my darling Channing that I was alive. Lionel would try to kill me. I wasn't going to give him that chance again. I was not going to live in terror of Lionel anymore. All those years, I didn't know who I was, or where I was. I lived in terror of him. I remember the terror. sat and I waited for him.
Fear.